Hi everybody, my name is Dee Dee and you are on my channel, A Girl, a Game, and a Goal. And I guess today's goal is to try to get through this situation that we're having with the lockdown and the COVID and all of that good stuff that's, whatever the phrase is, right? All that stuff that's happening with us. So I know as a board gamer and I'm also a crafter, I'm looking for things to keep my mind engaged, and being that I'm home with basically my daughter, and she's 12, she's not really into everything that I'm into, so looking for places to go online and kind of find some kind of connection. And I know that this is not live connection, and really in essence I'm just sitting here talking to myself. But if this video can go out there, engage with somebody else, and they can have however long this process takes of where they do something or challenged by something, then that's great. So what my goal is today is to do Patchwork Doodle. The easiest ones I've seen to see online and here and there for people to interact, whether they go through Twitch or Zoom or any other multiple interface situation, are typically roll and writes. And so that's what Patchwork Doodle is. It is a roll and write by Uwe Rosenberg, and it says right here on the box 1 to 6+ players. So as long as you can get your hands on a sheet, you can play the game. So what I'm doing today is going to sit here, I don't know how long it's going to be, and I'm going to set up to play the game. In the description box there is a link to a BGG, the BGG website, Board Game Geek website, where in the description for Patchwork Doodle there is in fact a link to a printable version of the sheet that you're going to fill out. And so what my task here is going to be to set up so that you can see the cards and have the experience of rolling them. And even though you can play solo, if you don't have this game, then you're going to see a set of cards and you're going to be able to play. And being solo, normally you just play a few rounds and then see if you can better your score. Not with the same cards, but just, you know, to do better. And so if you're playing with other people, of course you're trying to beat the other people, so your task is to beat me. Anyway, so I'm gonna set this up and change down the camera, and so that way you can see what I've set up here, because there are a few little things, and I'll go over the rules as quickly as I can. And so at some point I will do, I guess maybe I'll try to put a timestamp if this becomes too long, people just want to get in. I might even have it earlier than this moment. But what I'm going to sit here and do, and because this particular sheet has 4 boards on it, I think I'm going to do 4 games of it. Because what am I doing anyway? It is like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm an insomniac now. I have been twisted and turned because I've been sick. And so I'm just trying to get my life to some kind of semblance of order. So I appreciate you dropping by, and I hope that this is engaging, that if you don't have the game, that this will help to give you something new to do. And like I said, all you need is a printer and a sheet of paper, and in all reality you don't need even that, and I'll explain why. And you don't even need a printer, pretty much. I'll explain why in a few minutes. So let me get to setting us up and then we'll start to play. Alright, so let me just go over the sheet a bit. Make sure I can get it into the frame. When you go online and you go to the link, so you could stop the video when go print this out. If you wanted this to be printed out, then this is what you would get for on a single sheet. So you could play 4 games, you could play 1 game. I think because, like I said, what am I doing anyway? I'm going to probably play 3 or 4 games. And if I'm playing by myself and I'm only using my own scores, then I would just want to get progressively, you know, higher in my scores. Okay, so which one are we looking at? Okay, so we're looking at this one over here. And so there's some components on here that you get. Let me show you the actual score thing. So normally you get a pad in the game, like this, of a whole bunch, and I know a lot of gamers would probably just laminate the pad, because once you use them, they are double-sided, but depending upon what markers and pens you use, you might only get one use of one side. And so you can see that it's basically the same thing, right? So, wow, I've been so out of practice with this video, so I apologize if I'm scooting my page around trying to figure out where I'm at. So what is on this page, what is on here? So what you have is a 9x9 grid, right? You count across 9, you count up 9, you make 81 boxes. In essence, that's all you need. So if you can't print this out, no harm, no foul. Just take a ruler, straight edge, whatever, make yourself a 9x9 grid. With the 9x9 grid, you're going to be filling in the shapes. It's all about polyominoes. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. But the shapes, you know, the Tetris-y shapes, okay? And you're going to fill in your grid. And over here, you see the numbers 1, 2, and 3. You are going to be scoring 3 times, right? After 3 rounds, you'll score. The scores are incremental, cumulative sort of, meaning whatever you have already drawn, they affect the next round and the next round and so forth. Over here, you see that there's a minus. So any boxes that you wind up not filling in, they wind up becoming negative 1 point. Okay? So how do you score? Okay? Well, that's the tricky part that we have to kind of go over. So if you already know, then I guess you could, you know, try to fast forward me. It's not a problem. But if you don't, I'm looking for an old score sheet that I have here. They're all kind of done, but this one was done in the front, so I'm just going to use the back as an example. Okay. So what happens is, as you're drawing in your shapes, right, each round is going to be 6 cards that you're going to be seeing, and the cards are basically the photos of the shape that you have to add to your board. As you fill them in, and I'm just going to make up some random shapes. You can use colors, you can do whatever you feel. I'm just going off my brain, off of some of the shapes I know we have, right? So this can get a little bit disconcerting if you're just drawing open shapes. So if you want to use different colors, then that's one option to help kind of keep you track. What I've been liking to do is, for each of my boxes, I'm just putting in the number. So like 1, 1, 1, 1. That's the first one that I drew. Okay? Then, oh, but you're also going to have a starting box. So let's just say that that was this one. And a starting, and I'll show you what that is in a minute. So basically, we all get one that's special to ourselves, and there's a way that I set that up for us, for you guys, and hopefully you use it. And you put that on the board first before you start adding. So let's say that was the start box. I put S's, and then now this was the first one we pulled. Then the second one we pulled, I put 2's, and then the third one, I put 3's, and then the fourth one, don't know why I would put it there, but I was just showing an example. And then the fifth one, I tucked it in here, and then the sixth one, let's say, is that. So that's how I've been finding it more convenient for me to understand what's going on my board, because then the round is over and then we're able to go on to the next section. So at this point we have to give ourselves a score, or score ourselves. And how that works is that you're going to look for, within every box that you filled, the best rectangle. Okay, so a rectangle, opposite sides, you know, are the same lengths and whatnot. So if I look, I'm going to have a couple options, and I don't think I'm going to do this more than once, so I'll give you a gist of it. If I look right here, I can see that I have an rectangle that is right here. Okay, so this rectangle here is 1, 2, 3. It's a 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 3 by 5 rectangle. Now what happens is that within the rectangle you're going to block off, and you're not doing I'm drawing this visually, you can see it. You're not writing on top of your board like this. You're gonna see that you're gonna have a square, a 3 by 3, right? So this 3 by 5 becomes 3 by 3, which equals 9 points, and then each additional column that made that rectangle are 2 more points. So it's going to be 9 plus 2 for a total of 11. Okay? So this rectangle here, being 3 by 5, would be 11 points. And you would put that up on your score sheet right there on the first one and keep it moving. Okay? Additionally, there was another rectangle we could have used, which was this one here, right? Which is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 2 by 6. And so a 2 by 6 would be a 2 by 2, would give you the 4, and that would be dead. And then you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus an additional 4, which would give you 8. Now, of course, the 11 is better, but my telling you this is because you want to get your best score. And I have to remember which way I'm going. So you need to really analyze before you decide on which rectangle you're going to go for. Okay, so hopefully that's cleared about the rules for scoring. And when I do it the first time for the first game, I'll probably walk through it again one more time. Alright, now, there are 3 rounds. But over here on the bottom, you have these 4 little circles, okay? We do have special powers in the game. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Oh, wrong way. Okay, zoom in a little bit more. Sorry. Okay, so there are 4 powers. You can use the 4 powers within any of the rounds that you want. But once you use it, it's gone. So let me explain what the 4 powers are. Okay, the first one is so if you're making your own 9 by 9 grid, on the side make yourself a note. Power 1 is that instead of the shape that we're supposed to use, which is indicated by this little red squiggle box, we are allowed to take one of the other 2 that are on the flanking of it. So if I have 3 and I'm in the middle, that's the one that our token is supposed to be using, and I don't want it, I can go to the left or I can go to the right. So once you use it, you can tick it off. What I would do is, if I'm in round 7 and I'm using a power, I might put a 7 and I might put a little P, or I might put a 7 over here next to this to know that I used it for, box number 7. Okay, now the second one is a 1. Self-explanatory. A 1. I can fill in one little square anywhere that I need to fill in one little square. Okay? Now the point is that when you are playing this game, you are supposed to be drawing each time a card comes up. And so you should be drawing a patch to fit it in. Now, given that this is going to be semi-random because you're going around a group of patches, that you may not be able to fit it. There's no provision here where if you don't fit it, then you draw something different. If you don't fit it or use one of your powers, then that patch, that turn is lost. So you can't fit it in, you call it a day. You skip it, and you have nothing for box 7 or 8, whatever it is, whatever we're on, right? Now, the 1 is just to fill in a little gap. Okay, I know there are other games that when you don't use a polyomino, that you get to fill in one box, such as like silver and gold, but that's not the case here. You have to either fill the shape in or use a power or just skip it. Okay, the third power is a pair of scissors, and a pair of scissors means that you can cut the shape. So Let me give you an example, because it's a cut of the shape. So let's say the shape was something like this, right? Where am I? Okay, you're going to cut one slice, and if you slice it here, let's say you slice it here, you're creating a 2 and a 2. You get to use only one of the pieces. That's it. You don't get to split them and put them in different locations. So it's an either or. So again, if you had something that was a little more funky, let's say something like this, and let's say you needed, you needed a straight of 3, right? Then what would you do? You would cut it down here. You'd be able to use this, but then the rest is gone. So that's what the scissors do. The scissors let you cut a shape, and you can use one of the 2 pieces, okay? And again, like I say, I personally like to document what step I'm in, and also if I use a power, I might put it down here on the side to show which when I used it, okay? You can use them only once. You can use them all in the beginning, you could use them all in the second, you can use them in the third, you can mix and match however, but you have the option of using them. And then the last one has an arrow with a 2 and a little X. Well, this one is just permitting you to use one of these 3 powers. You can get to use one of them again. So at some point in time, if you need to fill in another little white box, then you would check this off and you would put in the one little box. So it lets you use one of these 3 powers an additional time, and that is it. Nothing else, no mas. Okay, so a 9x9 grid, 3 rounds of play, 1 is said and done. Anything that's not filled in is going to be a negative, and then we have our 4 powers. And so you kind of have the gist of it right now. And so the next phase is to show you what it is that we're using. Okay. And that would be these 2 items, and we're going to be using all these cards, okay? And there are some cards that have yellow on the back, and cards that have orange. The yellow are starting cards, and the orange ones are going to be our play cards. So I'm going to, again, adjust the camera one more time. So this is my way of trying to randomize, because what happens is that in the game you have 10 cards, which are 10 starter cards, and so even though it says 1 to 6 players, you have 10 cards. They go out randomly. If you had more than 10 players, you could easily change this up into any situation to order to give the people their starting card. So what my idea was your birthday month, okay? So all I did was lay these out. And so this is January, February, March, April, May. May, June I doubled up because we only have 10 cards. July, August, September, October, November, December. Again, doubling up because we only have 2 months and we only have 10 cards. So what's this about? Well, you need a starting card, and every one of these starting cards has 7 boxes to fill. So with the 7 boxes to fill, what you're going to do is I'm going to show you each one. And if that's your month, what you're going to do is you're going to take that shape and you're going to put it anywhere on your grid that you want to put it on. So I'm going to pull up January. So this is January, right? See if I can get a good card. So January looks like this. You'll notice that there's a 7 on the other corner because it's taking up 7 boxes. If you count the blue boxes, you'll notice that it's 7. So somewhere on your paper, you're going to draw the shape if you are a birthday month of January. Now, you'll notice that there's a white version up in this corner. If the shape has the ability to be mirrored, because you can rotate these shapes any way you want, you know, 360, well, that'd be the same position. 90, 80 to 70, you can rotate the shape. But if it's also flippable and would produce a different kind of image for you, then you will have that white little indicator up there. So I'm going to go through each one of these now, one more time. Well, not one more time, for the first time. So this is January. So if you're a January baby, this is the shape that you want to draw. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds. Okay. Okay, that's January. Now, if you're a February baby, here's your shape. So try to not hit the glare that much. And again, you'll notice that the shape has that whiteness to it, that white little shape in here. What you're going to notice is if something is very symmetrical, then really when you rotate it, you get all the different points of view. But right now, if I were to rotate this or flip it, that little box on the top over here by my thumb side would be in a different position, which is why you're able to mirror this and it would produce something else. So this is the February configuration. Okay. Okay, March. Here's March. Again, March, I'm trying to put all the 7s in the bottom. March is this shape, and it also can be mirrored, so you can look at the white. So this is the March baby. If you're a March baby and you're playing along, then this is what you want to use as your first shape. So I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know, my God, my arms are getting so tired already. So January, February, March. This is April. So this is the April one, which is going to be my card because I'm in April. Now notice that there is no flipping because pretty much if you rotate, there is not going to be any variation in the shape. So I'm an April baby in a couple, actually in 7 days, and so I'll be using this shape as mine. So this is the April shape, and I'm going to move on to the May. Okay, well, this shape is going to be for May and June. Let me get out the glare. The May and June babies, you guys will team up on this shape, and again, because there's no symmetric, there is a version of it that's white, meaning that you can flip it, mirror it. So just remember that you can mirror any of the shapes. There will be another one in the middle. It's not something different, it's just reminding you of that option. So this is our May and June babies. Okay. And now we have our July. Our July babies right here. This is mad simple. It looks like a Z, but also you can flip it because it has that whiteness, that white little shape in the middle, in the corner rather. So this is our July babies. Okay. This is our August babies, and so August babies are going to be doing this. And again, rotating, flipping doesn't change, so you see that there's no white shape in the corner. So this is our August babies. Okay, so that's your shape. And here's our September babies. You have a little more variation there, and you do have that shape in white, which means that you can flip it and position it. So just remember that when you're positioning them, it's anywhere you want on the 9x9 grid, and you will be filling up the rest of the boxes with the shapes from the game. Sorry about the glare. Okay, 2 more, and then we can start. Ooh la la. There has to be. I might do this differently. I don't even know. 7 is the number you see all the time because we're all starting out with the same amount of boxes. This is the October babies. Here we go, no glare there. And again, because it's not symmetrical shape, you can think about mirroring it. So counting off the boxes, making this shape of 7. So again, October babies, this is that. Okay, and the last one is going to be for November and December babies, doubling you up. And again, nice funky shape, and that shape can also be mirrored, so look at the white. And I'm trying to hold these up as much as I can because I do understand that we are doing this, I'm doing this live, and I'm trying to give you guys a chance to write them down. So tell me what you think of when you are playing, and let me know if this was even worth my effort. So November, December babies. Okay. So here's my game 1, and my game 1, I'm just going to put it right here. Remember that I'm an April baby, so I had this card as my card, and so what I'm doing is I'm trying to fit it in anywhere that I like. because it has the overhang. Well, you can do whatever strategy you want. I'm just going to stick it right here. So I have 2 boxes up. And I'm going to make it that way. This 2 boxes I'm going to point there. 1 box up and then 1 box over. Okay. So basically, I just rotated it, right? And like I was saying, for me to keep track, I'm putting this as my start. So I'm putting a little S in each of the boxes. Okay, so now all of you should at this point in time have your starting up layout, and hopefully you've gotten a grasp of the rules. And so now here comes the next part of play. We have a deck of cards which have all kinds of shapes. Each round we're going to have 8 shapes that we're going to make like a circular shape, a circle, round robin around the deck that will be in the middle. Okay, what we have is a dice, and the dice has 2 3s, 2 3s, 2 2s, and 2 1s. And this is the movement of this token. Now this little meeple guy with the little hat, all chill, he's going to be walking around this circular path, and he's going to be telling us which shape we have to draw. So we place him down, and we will just make a round robin of 8 cards. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, need to make it a little bigger. 6 7 8. And let's say he was there. So I think to make it tighter, I'm gonna do it more like a flower. Is that better? That's better. Well, when we pull one up, I will bring it up to the camera, hold it there for a couple seconds. Alright, I did a lot of adjusting, so therefore the edit right before this, the numbers are there. I'm trying to make sure that there's not much glare. Unfortunately, from where I can see where I'm sitting and where my camera is, it's a little far. I don't have glasses. I think that coronavirus has killed my vision. My vision has gotten worse and worse as we've gone. So, okay, I have my card set up. I'm going to use the paper that I gave you the link for, just because. And so there are 8 cards. Each round consists of drawing down 6. So there are 2 that we will not get to in the round. They don't go away, but we add to the next round. We add another 6. So there's a potential that those 2 could be used. But again, there's about randomness. So the randomness comes with the dice. The strategy comes with how you visually, spatially fill out your card, remembering that you're trying to make the best rectangle in order to be scored for each of the different rounds. Okay? Wanting to have as few possible empty left over, and being judicious in how you use your powers. Okay? So, we roll the die, and we get a 1, which puts him right here on our first little shape right there. Okay? So, this is going to occupy 5 spaces, so this is going to be what we're using. So this is the shape that we're using for the first round. The first turn of the first round. So this is what we have going on, which is a 5 boxes. And if you notice over here, it has a black shadow. That's the same thing about being able to be mirrored. Okay? So hopefully you can see this and you've gotten it down, or pause it. I'm going to put it down so that I can draw mine out. See where I can put my guy. I'm going to put it right here. So 2, then 3, then 2. Create a little space over here, but that's okay. And like I was saying, I'm going to put a 1 in each of those boxes because that's, the first box that I used. Okay? What happens is that this now comes out. Nothing gets filled in, and we roll the die again. Okay? It was off the screen, so I'm going to roll it again. Or is it right there? Can you see it? Yes, it's a 3. So 1, 2, 3. And so 3 is a 4 by 4. A 2 by 2 rather, 4 boxes. So this is our 3. Pause your video to be able to write this down. So this is our second of the first round. And so I know that I'm going to put it right here, and I'm put my little twos, because I'm trying to fill up the boxes as much as possible. Okay, so this now will come out of the game. Now he's standing here. You roll again. You get another 3. 1, 2, 3. And with this one, we get this little tiny L. So this is the third one. This little L. Pause your video. And I'm going to fill that in. I'm going to put that right there. Okay. Now don't forget you can use your thing, your holy crap, your powers, but unfortunately I won't be able to hold up each of the 2 on the side. I think that they're visible enough. I don't know, hopefully this is not going to be like the worst video ever and you're all going to hate me. But from what I'm seeing, it looks as if you can see what they are. I'm just pulling up the focus one so that we can all see it a little bit better. So if you are choosing to do this, then you might be pausing a lot of stuff in order to get the shapes that are around and do what you need to do. And so I appreciate you hanging in there. Alright, so now we roll the next one. Wow, I'm on a 3 kick. So this is going to come out. And there's going to be 1, 2, 3. And it's just a line of 3. A line of 3. 1, 2, 3 boxes. I'm not going to pull that one up because honestly my arm is tired. So I think I'm going to put it here. This is the 4th one. And I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to now roll this again. Yo, I don't know what's going on. 3. 1, 2, 3. We get this bigger L. So it's got the 3 into that corner and then 2 more. So it's like a 3 by 3 or whatever the case is. Let me pull it up. Okay. And remember that if you're using the one to the side, it's the one that's over here or the one that's over there. Okay. I'm going to put that over here. And that's going to be my 5th one. Alright. So you can see I'm trying to make myself a nice grid here. So he's out. So we're now going to be left with 3 cards. This is going to be the last one before we score. So if you need to cut or use one of the other powers, or if you have an awkward situation, you need that one little square, don't forget about your powers over here on the side. So one more time. Where is that? Can you see it? Is it on the screen? No, it's not on the screen. Is it? Oh, it is on the screen. Okay, it was a 1. So that means we're using this one, which is number 6. Which means that it has 6 covered. I will bring that up to you a little bit more. So it looks like a cross. And remember that you can use this one or that one because they technically are to the left and right of that piece right there. So I'm going to shove that one right here. Make myself my little cross here. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. And so now looking at my graph, my grid here, I see that I have a rectangle developing, and if I just put this one little extra, I have that one little extra column, one little extra row. So I'm going to check this off, and I'm just going to put a P for my power for that one little card. Okay? And then this comes out. Alright, so now this is gone, that's gone, and these 2 are going to be there. He's going to come right in front of them, and I'll fix that in a minute. I'll show you that. And let's talk about the scoring. Remember, you're looking for the biggest possible square within a rectangle. So really you look for the biggest rectangle, and then you chop up the square and then the extra columns. So I have 2 options. Let's see if they're any different. If I look, I put this little P here because I was trying to make this rectangle right here. So from the P to the 5 over here, down to this 6, over to this 2, back up to the P. So that's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a 6 by 4. So now what does that mean? For a 6 by 4, let's just going to use some scrap of the other one. So if you have a 6x4, that means that you have a 4x4 square, right, which will give you 16 points, and you have 2 columns extra to make the 6, which would give you another 2 points, so you would get an 18 total. So that gives me possibly 18. Now, if I look at this way, if I go from the 1 to the 5, down to the 6 over here, over to the 2, then I make that. So let me see what that looks like. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a 5 by 5, right? So now I have 5 by 5, which you're saying, well, that's a square. Well, guess what? Every square is a rectangle. So this is perfect. And actually, this is more optimum because 5 by 5 is now going to give me 25 points. And I don't have any extra columns, but that's okay because this actually gives me more. So really look at your boards in order to figure it out. So now I have 25 points for the first round. Okay? And we shall continue. So I bring this back in. We have the guy, we have the 2 we didn't use, and we will now put out additional cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let me look up the screen, make sure that I'm good, and I am not good. Let's bring this down so you can see them all. Ooh la la. Alright, so listen, I am going to move this in a little bit. I think you can see everything now. So now he was here because these were the 2 cards right here. These 2 were the 2 cards from the last round. So now they get put as the first possible options and then the 6 new ones. So we're going to roll a 3. I think we need some other people to come roll. 1, 2, 3, and you get that shape. Now this shape is like a staircase that is 3 high and 3 deep. So definitely interesting shape. You can put it. It covers a lot of space. Okay, remember that you can cut it. You can use either the 1 or the 3 that's over here, the other ones that are on the side, depending on what powers you've used yet, or just fill in on a single little dot. So I am going to stick it up in this corner here. 6. Oh no, it's 7. 7. 7, 7, 7. So this is my 7th, which is part of the second round. Okay? So again, this will come out, and we will roll the die. 2. 1, 2. Which gives us a single little spot to fill in, which I actually needed. So I'm going to put that bad boy right there. Okay? So you guys, it's a single dot for number 8, our 8th roll of the full game, which is in the second round. Okay, and this will come out, and we'll roll again. And can you see that? Yep, it's a 1, which means I just move right there. Okay, and this is a nice big shape. It's good for covering a lot of space. You also can cut it in multiple places. If you need just a single line, you would just cut this off and use that 5. Or if you wanted to make another L, or just a 2, you have options here. So this is a really nice one for cutting using that property. And I probably could use to cut it because my situation is not that great, but I think that I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to use it over here. So 2 up, then 1 sticks out, and then 2 more. So this is my number 9, our 9th roll. Okay? Alright, good. So now that comes out. And can you see that? Or is it there? Can you see, or is it? Nope, I gotta re-roll this so you can see it on the screen. 1, which means just jumps on the next one. The next one is a simple little L that's got 3 and 2, and I'm gonna put that over here. It's round number 10. And so that's that. So again, if you haven't used your other shapes, you can use this. If you don't want to use this one, your first power, you can use this one, or you can use that one. Okay? Now remember that that shape is going to come out, and these two will still stay in there. They could come up again. So that's been used. And now we're on our 11th roll. And let's see, can you see that? It's a 3. I'm gonna leave it at 3. 1, 2, 3. It's another single little dot, which I'm gonna put here for roll number 11. Okay. So you guys have a single dot. This is where the token is. He's coming out. And now this is gonna be the last one for this round. So again, you could be using all of your powers, maybe not, thinking about how you can use them. And here we go with, where is it? Nope, I'm on the screen. Here we go. A 1, which means it's just going to be that little yellow one. Okay, and again, you can still use the 1 to the either side. So let me see which one might be better for me. You know what? I'm just going to take it the way that it is for shape number 12. Okay? Alright. So that was our shape 12, which means that we now are going to move these over here. He's going to go here. And then we will pull the final 6 more after we do some more scoring. So, looking for your big rectangle. Again, looking at this, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a 7 by 5 right here. So that means that I would take the 5 by 5 to make the square, which is 25, and then the 2 extra columns, which would make me have 27 points. Okay? So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would give you a square. And to finish off the rectangle, 2 extra columns, therefore giving you 27. Okay? Okay. Hopefully you pause and do up your score. I'm going to set up the last of the cards. 3, 8. Okay, make sure everything is in the screenshots. There we go. Move the table a little bit. Alright, we're ready to go. I'm going to, actually I'm going to take this pal out of here so that this can be where I roll. And we have a 3. 1, 2, 3, and you've got this shape. And I'll bring it up to the screen a little bit. Right, this shape. I don't know, it makes me think of like Space Invaders or something in Atari. And you can either use that side or this side, depending on what your powers that you still have. You could cut it up. That's all up to you. I am going to put it here. And this is shape number 13. Okay. So I've got a couple of, you know, as you guys are figuring out where you're putting it, I have a hole here, I have a 4 here, I have 2 and a 2 here. So I'm going to wind up getting stuck somewhere because there is a singleton that I could possibly get. There is a 2-4 that I could get here. And there's no 4. And so I may not be able to fill up this section here. So who knows, okay? But we're ready to go. This one comes out. He's standing here. And we get a 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And 3 is just like a C kind of shape. 4 long and then 1 off on each side. And so that's the one we're supposed to use. And I think I'm going to chop it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop along this line, use the grid, chop along this line and get rid of these and keep this 4 length. So I am chopping this for my 14th and I'm putting that here. So at least it's filling in. At least. Alright, now I'm going to take this out. I'm going to roll 1. Oh, the little singleton! Perfect, I needed him for 15. So you got a singleton, or you got this box with a little hanger on, and you also got this guy right there. Oh, I put this in the wrong spot. I used the chopping for 14, so I still have this. Okay. I can still go to the other side. Okay. Alright, let's roll this out. So this comes out, and he goes 1, 2, 3 to this T over here. And next time I'm doing this, I'm taking off the tablecloth. So that's this T. It's got 3 and 3. And then again, you can use this or this. So I'm going to use the power, and instead of using this, I'm going to use this guy here. So this is going to be for my 16. Okay. So I use the power in the 16. Okay. And so if you guys are done with this T, comes out, and then we roll again, and we get a 1. So now we have the 2 again, which is awesome for me because I needed it for over here. So now I fill that in without having to use a power. I still have an option of using another power, but basically we have one more card to use. And you know what, as you guys are filling in the grid and looking at it and saying, oh, I wish I get this one, I'm going to check on something really quick, because you know, I've been online playing with different lives. Okay, and that's one rule that I had not remembered, so, or missed. So here we go. We are at the last of the game. This is round 3. If you haven't used all of your choices yet, doesn't really gonna help you too much. But this comes out. And normally when you go next, you roll this. But when you are left with just 3, you can use any one that you want. So whichever one best serves your graph, your grid, by all means take it and use it, because that is what the rule is. So I will probably grab this one, someone else, and someone else. You know, it doesn't really matter. It's whoever, whatever you want to use, you're going to fill it in. So I am going to personally use that one. And I'm going to put that here for my 18th, right? And you guys are taking whichever one you want. Now I'm left with, I have a power that I could use again. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to stick that little one here. I don't know if it's going to help me, but it's going to help me not lose a point. And this is going to be my power. And I'm going to use this a second time. Right? And I just make myself notes because I want to. And now we're going to look at figuring out what the actual score is. Okay? So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say I have a 9 by 9. I can see that I've gone 9 by 7. 9 by 7 would be 7 by 7, which is 49, plus 2 more, which is, I forgot how to add, 51. I could also see that I can have an 8 by 8. Well, 8 times 8 is 64, which is way better. So that's another consideration. I also see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 by 9. 5 by 9, okay, 5 by 5 is 25, but then I only have 4, so it's 29. So my best bet is to use my 8 by 8 and get 64. Okay, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I'm going to have a minus 5. And so now we're going to add up all the scores over here. So I have 7 and 4 is 11. And I have a 5 here, so I'm just going to discount that 5. And 7 and 4 is 11. Put a 1, carry the 1. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my score for this game is 111 points. How did you do? So That's Patchwork Doodle in a nutshell, and I appreciate you watching the video and whatnot. And this is taking way longer than I had expected, and so I will see you on another game, and hopefully it would get better. And if you could give me any information in like a comment on what you thought could be improved. The tablecloth is definitely going, because this has been shifting all over the place. The timestamps I hopefully were able to put in correctly, so that would let you know where you could jump around, because you might already know the game. And yeah, I want to improve my editing and my playing skills, and I want to be able to do something that stimulates my brain in terms of the situation that we're all in. So be grateful that you guys came by, visited, and I will see you, or you will see me maybe, in another video. So just be safe, be healthy, and I'll catch you on the next time. Bye!